Hello everyone, how's it going? So, some bad news for Borderlands 4 right now, and it just keeps mounting with this game. Despite selling pretty well and having over 100,000 players play this game, the game has not been doing as well as I would say the other Borderlands games, mostly because of just the technical issues, and not to mention Randy Pitchford, who can't keep off Twitter for more than 5 seconds to argue with random people. So, yeah, look at this. Great Vault Hunters, we need to share that the release of Borderlands 4 on Nintendo Switch 2 is being delayed. We do not take this decision lightly, but are committed to ensuring we deliver the best possible experience to our fans, and the game needs additional development and polish time to do that. Our hope is to better align this release with additional of cross saves, which we are working on, recognize is very important. We will update you all on the release timing once we've fully adjusted our plans. In accordance with Nintendo's policy, all digital pre-orders to date will be cancelled. Customers can initiate that process themselves now, or it will happen automatically on Friday, September 26th. So this is equivalent of the game being cancelled because they don't even know when they're going to release this game. It can be a year from now, 2 years from now, 4 years from now, a month from now. It's completely up in the air, and I think that Nintendo probably saw the product themselves and were like, no. I mean, there is a lot of slop on the Nintendo eShop, but at the same time, this is not like some sort of random indie game or AI slop game that they're pushing onto the Switch. This is a big AAA game. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they just said, hey, if this happens, we could end up with a lot of problems. It's not uncommon for people to sue big publishers or companies based on the quality of a product. This happened to EA with Battlefield 4 when they had a class action lawsuit against them because the netcode was so bad with this game. I remember when it came out, it was just so problematic. And they also did this with Cyberpunk 2077. That Sony pulled it off the PlayStation Store because the game was such in a devastating state. Look, Borderlands 4 has sold pretty well, and it has over 100,000 players playing the game, especially on a weekday. That's actually pretty good, but it has a mixed reception, which is really bad for a game of this size, and considering they pushed up the release date for this game for all major platforms except for the Switch 2, was telling, and these systems were also having major problems. And Randy Pitchford, again, this was his customer service rant that, hey, not a lot of people are refunding the game because of technical issues. And then there was the minimum hardware rant where he just went on this tirade with people who had very exceptional machines that still couldn't run the game at a stable frame rate. And he just kept going with, I think these are the same tweets, yeah. Like, at this point, I can't even tell the difference because he just can't keep off his phone. I strongly believe that someone needs to hire this guy's social media manager and just post on his behalf, because this is just very crazy. And Borderlands 4 has sold pretty well, 2.5 million. Granted, we don't know how much it cost to create this game. I believe Randy Pitchford did say that this was one of the most expensive games they ever made, but even then, with the way that game prices are ballooning, budgets are ballooning, mismanagement is happening, 2.5 million sales for a modern day game isn't that much. Like back maybe 10 years ago it was, but nowadays it's not even enough to break even for a lot of these huge AAA experiences. But with this, like, it just basically proves everyone right that this game was not optimized, it was not ready for release, and they basically shoehorned this game for some reason. I can't even fathom why they released this game so early. They could have delayed it to December. It probably would have been a better idea to try and iron out those issues, but they decided to push it up. I guess they just wanted to live up to the hype. I don't know, maybe something was happening that their marketing team and sales team was like, hey, push up the date, release the game, and we'll fix out the issues later. That's kind of been the mantra for a lot of AAA game industry veterans. They would just release the game and say, we'll fix it later, we'll get people to beta test this game, and then we'll release patches down the line. And that's usually the mantra for a lot of these game publishers and developers in the AAA market. Indies tend to take it a lot more seriously because they don't have that golden parachute in a way. Like Randy Pitchford does have a golden parachute, but a lot of those developers don't. But in this case, like, this is really, really bad. Like, it just shows that everyone was right. It proves everyone was right, that Randy Pitchford was 100% talking out of his ass when it comes to this stuff. Again, I really think someone should take away his phone or say that in your contract you can't be on Twitter, because this represents the entire company, and if any employee were to do this that wasn't a top executive, they would be immediately either terminated or put on leave, because this is ridiculous. But I don't know. We'll see how much of an extent this goes for, because At this point, I don't know how many people are even going to play this game on the Switch 2. That's just my opinion. This is just me speaking just out there. I feel like the people who play Borderlands play it either on PC or major consoles. Like the Switch 2, yeah, I saw people playing Borderlands 2. It actually sold pretty well on the Switch 2. But when it comes to a major release like this, I feel like most people will buy it on the most high-end hardware they can possibly run this game on. That's usually what their target audience is, especially for a game like this. It doesn't seem like it's really made for people who play the Switch. Like, usually people who play the Switch are children, let's face it, and usually adults who are on the go. But I don't know, maybe it might sell well. You never know what the future holds. Weirder things have happened in life, like the release of Silksong that just happened, and you never know, Half-Life 3 might drop someday just randomly. You never know. Still leaving up hope for that. But yeah, this is devastating for Borderlands in any regard as you look at this, because it just shows that everyone was right. This game was a disaster. It should have been delayed, and they should have spent a lot more time optimizing this instead of just shoehorning it out and expecting everyone to just be okay with it. I really think that at an extent this has done damage, because the Borderlands franchise has seen a steady decline because of the quality of the products they've been releasing, like with the Borderlands movie, Borderlands 3, Tales of the Borderlands 2, and even though this is doing very well in terms of comparison to those products, I still think it could have done better if they just released the game when it was ready, kept Randy Pitchford away from his phone. Don't argue with your customers to say, hey, we're working on it, we're acknowledging the issues, we're trying our best, and we will keep you up to date, something like that. But tell me what you think in the comments below about this. I'd love to hear your opinion. And if you actually are willing to play Borderlands 4 on the Switch 2, I actually want to hear that opinion most of all. Like, did you play Borderlands on the Switch consoles? Did you enjoy it more on that? Or did you prefer playing it on, like, more higher-end hardware, like PlayStation 5, Xbox Series? Well, back then it would be Xbox One and PlayStation 4. But I'd love to hear if there are actually people who prefer playing this type of game on a handheld, because I'm just not seeing it. Like, handheld gaming usually is for burst playing rather than longevity playing, like with a game like Borderlands is all about. It's all about like shooting stuff, looting as much high-end hardware, and going through that grind. But that's it from me. Like, dislike, your choice. And I saw the comments in the last video. This is my voice. I apologize. I didn't go through voice changer or any of that stuff. But yeah. It's just what I was born with. Sorry if that annoys you. You gotta work with what you got in life. Anyway, bye.